Hello, everyone. Today, we will explore a secret element in the communication strategy of luxury brands on social media that is, storytelling. Have you ever stopped in front of a photo of a classic Chanel bag or a Rolex watch on Instagram, admire its beauty, and wonder why you were so attracted to it? Is it just because it is beautiful, because of its luxurious and sophisticated design? Or is there an untold story hidden behind each product? And Min Suk Park's research on storytelling and social media has shown that behind the charm of luxury brands is the power of the stories that they tell. And we often think of luxury brands as aloof and only for the rich, but the truth is, these brands are getting closer to consumers, not by discounting, but by connecting emotionally through the stories that they tell. And Park argues that in the age of social media, when everything can be seen and heard, a unique and compelling story is the key to maintaining and enhancing the reputation of luxury brands. And amidst the countless images of luxury and fashions, a good story is like a magic key that opens the hearts of consumers. At this time, luxury brands are not just expensive items, they are symbols of history, culture, and emotions. Brands always have a way to lead consumers into their world, with stories about the formation of the brand, the career of the designer, or the muse. And Park emphasized that luxury brands do not just sell products, they sell a story, a sense of belonging, and they invite consumers to become a part of an elite and proud world that only those with an access code can reach. And mm, Louis Vuitton and his story is a good example of this. From the founder's travels around the world in the 19th century, that story has evolved into a symbol of high class travel style. Each suitcase and handbag is not just an object, but an invitation to a journey of dreamers, explorers, and class. Louis Vuitton trunks are sought after by high-end collectors because of their heritage value and the historical stories behind the classic artifacts. The fashion house has subtly transformed the poor design to explore of those who love to travel into timeless works of art with high applicability. Social media is a fertile ground for brand stories to be sound and develop deeply in the viewer's awareness. Instagram or Facebook posts are not just attractive images, but they contain subtle messages and reflect the lifestyle and that the brands want to convey. On these platforms, luxury brands can lead consumers on a journey from sophisticated production to sustainable values that stand the test of time. And Park believes that through social media, luxury brands can build an open space for consumers to perceive their brand from many different perspectives. It is no longer a story of rich people selling to rich people, but a story of a lifestyle that anyone can admire and aspire to. Social media helps brands overcome price barriers, bringing consumers more multi-dimensional experiences and emotions. And to conduct deeper understanding of consumer psychology, Park not only writes about the importance of storytelling, but also demonstrates it through the way she structures her research, as if the research itself was a story. In it, she deeply analyzed how consumers perceive brand stories through social media and categorize them into four groups based on the two main factors: the brand story cognition and self-esteem. And and the way to divide four groups of consumers is illustrated visually as the following figure. That is, there are four groups with the LL, LH, HL, and HH. The LL is a low self-esteem, the consumer type of low self-esteem and low story cognition, and the LH is low self-esteem and high story cognition. The HL is high high self-esteem and low story cognition, and the last one is HH. It is high self-esteem and high story cognition. And through analyzing each of these groups, Park found differences in how consumers respond to brand stories. For example, those with high those with high confidence and a clear understanding of their brand story are less likely to show off and instead seek out brands for their authentic quality and value. And by segmenting this group, the study found distinct consumer responses to brand stories, such as engagement with video advertisement or story-driven content. And the paper also highlighted the narrative transportation. It means the process by which consumers are immersed in a brand story, which has been shown to increase the consumer engagement increase the consumer engagement and interest. And to clarify the power of storytelling for consumers based on the above two criteria, she conducted two studies as follow. The first study is about luxury consumption according to self esteem and story cognition. Consuming luxury brands is also a way to increase self esteem in the sense of using external means to express self esteem. According to social comparison theory, people compare themselves with models appearing in advertisements and form satisfaction with themselves. Therefore, people consume luxury brands to show their status to others. Accordingly, Park differentiated luxury brands consumer groups based on self-esteem, low and high, and the cognition of luxury brand stories, and proposed the following four hypotheses about this relationship. They are the self satisfaction will be significantly different regarding story cognition of luxury brands and self esteem. Quality assurance will be significantly different regarding story cognition of luxury brands and self esteem. And the last one is the propensity of conspicuous consumption will be significantly different regarding story cognition of luxury brands and self-esteem. And she conducted a Google survey with young people in their 20s who were familiar with SNS in Korea. And in addition to answering questions related to their favorite brands, additional questions related to self esteem, story awareness, story cognition, self satisfaction, quality assurance, and conspicuous consumption tendencies were also answered, and all constructs were measured using a 5-point Likert scale. And as a result, self satisfaction was satisfaction was highest in HA, with 3.97, and lowest in LL with 2.86. And quality assurance was low in LL and LH, and high in the in LH and HH according to the self-esteem. In contrast to self-satisfaction, conspicuous consumption tendencies were highest in LL and lowest in HH. From this, it can be seen that LL is the type of is a type with low self-esteem and low cognition, low awareness of the story of luxury brands. And here, self-satisfaction is the lowest, and conspicuous consumption tendency show the highest. The highest. That is the group that buys luxury brands to show off to others because of their satisfaction, and HH is the group with high self-esteem and story cognition. This group has high self-satisfaction and quality assurance, but low conspicuous consumption tendency, and they consume luxury brands to satisfy themselves with the quality assurance. And in the second study, Min-suk Park examined how luxury brands like Chanel and Burberry convey their stories through social media, and the study hypothesized that consumer engagement with brand stories would vary based on their self-esteem and narrative perception. In this experiment, participants were first asked to answer a simple questionnaire about their preferences of luxury brands and answer a questionnaire about the means of transportation with narrative content, preferences of preferences for additional images for brand stories after viewing, and the narrative images selected from the pre-testing. And the hypotheses are there will be difference in narrative transportation according to story cognition of luxury brands and self-esteem. There will be difference in additional images according to the story cognition of luxury brands and self-esteem. And the last one is there will be difference in interest in the brand story according to the story recognition of luxury brands and self-esteem. And this study shows that the ability to understand a story is not affected by self-esteem. People with high self-esteem are more interested in videos that convey a story. In contrast, people with low self-esteem can easily accept the ideal world in advertising to increase their confidence without paying attention to the true meaning of the brand. People with high self-esteem are more interested in the true meaning that the brand brings, and tend to consume luxury brands that guarantee quality. And this group also shows a special interest in the uh, brand story. And finally, Park emphasized that in the world where money can buy many things, emotions are invaluable to luxury brands. Stories about origin, tradition, and lifestyle are not only marketing tools. They are not only marketing tools, but also ways for brands to overcome the challenges of maintaining consumer loyalty. Um, and so, storytelling is not a gimmick for luxury brands. It is the only way to survive and thrive. And Mingsu Park has opened up a new perspective on how brands need to leverage social media to tell their stories, turning each product into more than just a product, but also a story, an emotion, and a memorable experience. And an interesting point um, an interesting point from past research, which I think can be developed further in the future, is that the brand story does not only come from the brand but also come from the consumer. They can share their personal feelings and experiences about the product, making the brand story richer. and more multidimensional. And this creates a special connection. The consumer is no longer standing outside, but becomes part of a larger story. And luxury brands are actively encouraging consumers to participate in the story through social media campaigns, and from sharing moments of using the product to participating in exclusive events. Consumers are not just buyers, but they are invited to enter the brand's world in their own way.